Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make some Victorian Valentines, you guys. I will tell you right off the bat, that foam tape I showed you from the Dollar Tree, I used almost an entire pack for 4 cards. So you're definitely going to need some foam tape. And then this is a printable from Dreams, etc. And I will leave it linked down below. It's called Victorian Splendor. Okay, and so all of these little pieces, all of this ephemera, I fussy cut all of it. I just did it a little bit at a time in the evenings after dinner before our family would, gather to do our family time each evening. I just take a few minutes and fussy cut, but you don't have to. If you have a Brother Scan-A-Cut or a Cricut, it could do that for you. But the way that Jen, who's the designer and owner of Dreams, etc., the way she does her printables, it makes it very easy because she kind of does a shadow outline. You can see it on these, like the pink and the taupe, and it makes all your cuts look cleaner. Now, I also brought in some other images that I wanted to add because I wanted these to kind of be my Galentines cards, but these don't have to be Valentine related. They're really not. Or they can be, whatever you want. I think it's a great investment overall because you get all of these different frames and backgrounds. Now, I am making these 2 cards with you. I'm showing you the process today. I'm using full-size images, the way that when you buy them and you purchase them and you download them and you print them, the way they come out. Now, y'all know I'm a fan also of resizing my digitals, so sometimes I'll print 2 to a page. If you do that, you can make lovely A2 or 5x7 cards. These are not that. These are much larger, and this is probably not a very beginner-friendly project, just to be completely honest. This is like intuitive card making. So like when you saw me bend and fold my base down at the bottom, that I was just bending it where I wanted it. I didn't have any measurements. In fact, there's no measurements in this at all. I printed the things, I cut them out, and then I just kind of laid them out according to the cards. So like I want to see a little of each frame. Now, when you're putting your foam tape on, it's cool to put it in the center if you want to tuck things behind it. And not to put it to the very edges, like I was able to tuck that frame behind the cherubs. So it's nice to just put a few random pieces. You don't need a ton, like you really don't. And this card is going to feel pretty sturdy. I printed on 80-pound cardstock, but it's a real light 80-pound. You guys, Accent Opaque has like lightened the load on their paper, I think because there was a shortage. They're 80 pounds, not what it used to be. Anyway, so I am just foam taping all these pieces together. It doesn't need to be super heavy cardstock because you're adding so many layers. Now, the base of this and the back of the easel are important, so I'm going to focus on that here with you for a minute. I wanted to extend the base, and so I'm going to end up gluing this little half-cut frame down on here. So I've got to line this up and figure out where to put my glue. So this is how I do it. And so that's going to extend forward, and I'm so glad I did that. And now I'm trying to want a sentiment, and I wanted to say Nap Queen, because when I saw this picture, that's immediately what I thought, and I am the official Nap Queen. So this card may end up staying in my stash. I'm pretty sure it will. Sometimes when I make things like this, I know it's just not something I'm going to do over and over again or whatever, and so I'm going to keep one. And this one will be mine, and it'll be in my craft room. So I put my sentiment down here at the bottom. I think that's kind of fun. Real quick before I get into the fun part, but I'm going to put my foam tape low on this so that things can tuck behind it if they need to. Anyways, I just think it's kind of fun to take like vintage images and put quirky sayings with it. I'm not the only one. It's a very popular thing to do. Okay, another tip here. I am not gluing up to the very edge of that. I'm leaving like a 1/2 inch at the top unglued because that's where I'm going to pop my easel. This is a scrap piece of paper that I'm just grabbing and folding like 1/4 of an inch at the top. And then I'm going to tuck that down. And this is going to be the easel that helps my card stand up. Now I can go back in and glue that, 1/4 inch down of the label. All of this stuff comes in the kit. Obviously not the scraps, but like all the frames, all the beautiful little details. Okay, I have another scrap here. And I found that folding it 3 times was good. If I did 4 bends and glued it down, it was just a little too much, like the card leaned back too much. So you will have to figure this out for yourself. Mine were about, my easels were about 5.5 inches long by 2 inches wide typically, and that seemed to work for me. But it depends on where you bend your card base, how you want it to get its lean on, all that stuff. What would I do without the Dollar Tree ribbon? This is the Gross Gain, and it stands sturdy, when you fold it like I have here, which is exactly what I wanted. And I just wanted that soft pink because I wanted it to, blend well with the card. And I'm gluing it on all 4 sides because I really want it to stick in there. And you could use hot glue for this. You could use double-sided adhesive, glue dots, whatever you want. But for me, my PVA glue just seems to work just fine for this. And then it's time for the fun of embellishments. And I end up bringing in these Nouveau rhinestones. I wish they still made these, you guys, but I have looked for them and I can't find them anymore. They made different shapes. Like these are like an amethyst square, but then they also had like teardrops and ovals and rectangles. I have them all in my stash. I use them very sparingly. But you could bring in pearls, sequins. I use more Dollar Tree trim. Whatever you have in your stash, flat back pearls, Nouveau drops, whatever, you could really go to town. Glitter, you could add so much to these cards, and it really is a whole lot of fun. So I had to have these 3 cherubs many years ago, like 20 years ago. I had a nightmare, and it was an intense one that I won't get into here. I don't want to trigger anybody, but these cherubs came down and saved the day. And so to this day, I sleep with cherubs under my bed. I have this really beautiful wrought iron decoration that you're supposed to put on your wall, but I keep them at the foot of my bed because they saved me in that dream. Okay, anyways, moving on. You never know, right? All right, so now the kit, this came from the kit, has a lot of like decoupage, which I love. And so this is 1 page that you print, and all of it decoupages, and we are going to do that right here. So the little pieces that go on top, I cut those right at the edge of the image. This one I cut just around to where you could still see some of the border because I wanted it to be slightly bigger. These I cut directly to the edge. I'm using foam tape to pop these up. I'm doing double there because I know that there's another one right under it, so it'll be even. That's just the only thing when you're doing these. You do want to be a little more careful with your foam tape. When I was doing the background layers, it did not matter. I just didn't want them at the edge because I wanted to be able to tuck in my ribbon, as you saw, or more paper or whatever. But when you're doing these little pieces, you want to be a little more careful. But I just love her. I think she's so cute. This is for my mom for Valentine's Day. I didn't bring in some Wink of Stella, or this is like a Nouveau, same thing. It's a glitter pen. I brought in a glitter pen. And I will bring this up and try to show y'all the glitter, but I don't think it really comes off on the camera. In person, it's just the perfect touch. Okay, I loved this background for this girl, and so we're going to use it. Now I'm just figuring out my frames, and, again, here the paper placement just depends on you and what you want to show and how you want it to show. Same thing where you bend your paper. You know, it just depends. All these cards are different heights. As far as envelopes, say don't stress about it. Wrap it in some tissue and put it in a bubble mailer, or like this one, I'm going to hand deliver. So, you know, you don't have to worry about the envelope. So for this one, I'm wanting to make sure that everything lines up on the bottom. I'm going to go through that a little bit here with you guys. I had to make 2 of these cards off camera before I could confidently make them on camera. Again, that's why I say I don't think that this is necessarily a beginner-friendly project, but if you take your time and you're gentle with yourself, then maybe it can be. You just don't overthink it, but at the same time, you need like the structure to be right. So I'm just lining everything up. And here is where I'm going to add another layer to my base. Okay, so I'm wanting it to extend again, and I'm going to have it go over the back just to make it even more sturdy. Now, this is what I'm talking about. The part that folds forward needs to be folded lower than your back base. Do you see that? And now it will stand up correctly, and it won't bend the edges of your paper in any awkward way. Again, I'm just adding this and gluing this to the back again to add more reinforcement to make that back piece even more sturdy. I'm going to even glue this piece on, and then I will have what I feel like is a really sturdy base, even though I'm not using real thick cardstock. This stuff says it's 80 pounds. I think it's more like 50. I don't know, 60 maybe. It's pretty light. Okay, so now I've got that done and I'm feeling really good about it. I wanted to cover up the white, so I brought in this corner and I liked the way that worked. I'm still making sure as I go that everything folds flat. In case you do want to put in an envelope, all these will fold flat, even though they're so dimensional. So I had some more like half frames or quarter frames here, and I'm just kind of tucking those in. Again, it's the good thing about not putting your foam tape right at the edges, because then you can tuck behind these pieces. And so I'm just filling in, adding. Now, I know that for some, like covering up all this beautiful stuff is hard. I get it. That was one of my struggles in the beginning. But these are printables. You can make as many copies as you want, and the end result makes it worth it. You can cover up the pretties. It's okay. You can show just a little bit of them. It's always been a struggle of mine. I get it if you're like that. Now this piece, I'm gluing one butterfly, but I'm popping the other one up because it's going on a layer. So think about that when you're layering. And like this girl, I'm going to have to, because I have a bunch of these foam squares, everything just looks better on these cards popped up. So I pop up everything, even though that's just down at the bottom. But the girl, I'm going to put hers, I'm going to double up on hers, because there's a few layers behind her, like those flowers and that little brown and white frame right there, that each have foam tape on them. So I'm going to double her up so she lays nice and flatly across the top. Sorry, I sped this up a lot. I feel like I'm talking a lot, but I wanted you guys to get the condensed version of this crafty session. Again, it took time, you guys. These cards are not fast, and they're really not difficult once you get the hang of it. And you wouldn't have to make this easel type card again. You could use it on a regular card base. You just need to scale it down. So here I'm building another easel, just using some scraps. I wanted you to see that one more time. Again, I'm just folding these pieces. Now this one I did something a little different. I did a half fold on the back because I felt like it was going to need it. So this is a 3-piece, but I'm going to do a half fold on this piece and only glue down that front half and then the back. And that just gave me a little more extension, but not too much. You just have to play with it, you guys. I brought in this new twine that I've got. I have a thrift store haul that I haven't been able to show y'all yet because it's been so busy on my channel. I have so much to share with you guys and show you guys. But anyways, yeah, I got this gold twine for 25 cents at my thrift store, and I love it because it's super soft. You know, sometimes I have gotten these gold twines in the past and they're real stiff and kind of scratchy. This one's really soft, so I was so excited to find it. Of course, it doesn't have a label. It just says craft 25 cents. I have no idea where it's from or anything, but it was a total score. And I'm just tucking this in different places, just like I did the pink ribbon on the first card. And so I love the accent that adds. I also brought in some more Dollar Tree trims. I really love these. And I kind of make this one like a little cabochon on her sleeve. I think that would have been done back in the day on her bow. So I know my mom is going to love this card. We were really dog people growing up, but I did have one cat, only one ever. His name was E.T. You can probably imagine the year that I got my cat. And he was mean as fire. E.T. wasn't in our house for long. But anyways, I was like, I could put a dog there, but we'll just remember E.T. That is all the foam tape that I had left over from that brand new roll. So if you're going to make these cards, make sure you've got that in hand. Or you could use cardboard boxes. You guys have seen me cut up Amazon boxes. You can cut up a cardboard box into little pieces like the foam pieces and use that too. You don't have to use foam tape, but it does make it fast. This is everything I have left over, which is a ton. Yay. Maybe we'll make some flat cards if you guys want to see that. Otherwise, these are just going in my stash, ready for another session. And I had to add a cherub up there. I know my mom will love that touch. And so here it is. Oh, I love it. I just think these cards are fabulous. There's nothing on this that says Happy Valentine's Day yet, but I'll be adding it to the back. I'll add some tea-dyed paper up at the top with my message on it. There it is standing. These are so amazing. Jen did an awesome job designing these. I wanted to share these with you last year, you guys, and my channel was just too busy. And this year, I'm doing my own thing. And I'm loving it. So I had time this year. This one I just had to work a little bit with my easel. And there it is, the Nap Queen. She is fabulous. I just love these so much. I felt fully inspired about what we can do with card making after making these, you guys. This is me and a crafty friend. We are peering over the garden's edge at Tim Holtz, distressing everything. Yep, I'm sending this to a crafty friend with a little message on the back. And I think it's so cool. So that's the first one I made. Woo, it was full of mishaps. And then this is another one. This was the second one I made for another crafty friend. Do you think our crafty haul will fit in that basket? So yeah, I really had fun, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I will show you here real quickly that they do fold flat, just like this. And you really can mail them if you want to. All right. I hope you enjoy it. The description down below will have the links. See you guys later. Bye.